In this video, I'm going to go over the problems I have with Death Battle's DIO versus Alucard video. My biggest problem is their speed scaling for DIO. They said Silver Chariot moved 1500 times faster than the speed of light based off of the visuals of the animation. But that directly contradicts the actual narrative. Polnareff, the user of Silver Chariot, flat out said the speed of light is faster than anyone can see, which obviously includes himself, and had to know the opponent's trajectory beforehand to even land a hit. You can easily argue his stand's reaction speed is around light speed due to this, but saying his stand is 1500 times faster than the speed of light makes no sense. If that was the case, light speed would basically be slow motion for him, and hyping up its speed and needing to know its trajectory wouldn't make any sense. I could go even further and mention how Josuke said his crazy diamond's punching speed is over 300 km per hour, and his stand was comparable in speed and power to Star Platinum, though that speed was just his guess and can't really be used to put an upper limit on their speed. There's also the fact that Star Platinum failed to stop all the knives Dio tossed at him, which were moving slow enough to where they were blocked by some magazines he stuffed in his shirt. If you want to ignore that due to being an inconsistent calculation based off physics, then I would argue you should ignore all of Death Battle's calculations for the same reason. There is a description for Star Platinum that says it's faster than light, though it's hard to tell if that's in reference to when it's using the time stop ability. Either way, the maximum speed I would put stands is somewhere just over the speed of light, not 1500 times faster. The only way you should ever believe that is if you think how the animators happen to draw the scene is more important than the actual narrative presented by the mangaka. I also think they overhyped Dio's regeneration ability, as he can't just grow back major body parts, at least not easily, as he had to steal Jonathan's body when he was just a head, and he had some woman go fetch his leg for him in his fight with Jotaro. If he loses a large portion of his body against Alucard, he could be in major trouble, especially if there isn't any blood around. They said even with the Schrödinger ability, Alucard could at best hope for a stalemate with Dio, but ignored the fact that contact with sunlight would kill Dio. So if Alucard just held out until daytime, he could arguably win that way. They also said Dio could hypnotize Alucard due to him being able to hypnotize regular humans, but Alucard also has the ability to hypnotize humans, and they don't bring up Alucard possibly being able to do that to Dio. Alucard also has his third eye which can resist illusions. They did mention how it's not always active and he's fallen to illusions before, but that's better telepathic resistance than I can remember from Dio. And it seems unfair to say Dio can possibly win via hypnotizing, but don't mention the possibility for Alucard. Alucard can also make his body intangible and phase right through solid walls, which is an ability they listed but never brought up. As for the final verdict, I agree if Alucard uses level 0, Dio has a good chance of winning, as Alucard is vulnerable in that form and the extra bloat would be beneficial for Dio. But if Alucard doesn't use that form, I think he has a good chance of outlasting and beating Dio. It's possible Dio would still win, especially if his stand keeps evolving in combat, so I'm not completely hating on their verdict. I just think the aforementioned problems were worth bringing up.